Today we're going to be discussing dealing with unexpected situations doesn't have to be difficult. It is actually quite easy. So stick around and find out exactly what I'm talking about. That's coming right. Whoa! Coach Eli here, and welcome back to my channel. And if this is your first time here, and most importantly, you are open to suggestions and change, please consider subscribing and then banging that bell. And after you bang that bell, make sure you select all notifications, because that way you won't miss a single thing when it comes to getting a better grip on your life. Now, before we get right to it, let me pay a very special thank you to this channel's sponsor, Troy Brewer, the CEO and founder and owner of the Discover Community Network, for all of your product and service needs from the most trusted professionals in the industry. Please consider checking out the Discover Community Network at www.discovercommunitynetwork.com. One more time, that's www.discovercommunitynetwork.com. You can also visit a subsidiary of the Discover Community Network known as the DCN Internet Radio Network. That is the Discover Community Network Internet Radio Network, DCN Internet Radio Network. And when you go to that website, you will have a bunch of internet radio stations to, find the genre of your choice that you love. And you can even also find talk radio stations on the DC Internet Radio Network. So you can find your favorite music and you can find your favorite talk shows all at the DCN Internet Radio Network at www.dcninternetradionetwork.com. That's www.dcninternetradionetwork.com. Both of those links are below in the description, about a third of the way down. So check them out and say hi to Troy if you'd like. You can reach out to Troy. You can find out more information on how to contact Troy at either one of those websites. And if you do reach out to Troy, make sure you tell him that, Coach Eli sent you with lots of love. Once again, thank you very much to Troy Brewer, the CEO, founder, and owner of the Discovery Community Network, for continuing to sponsor this channel. And haven't been, put on any content for a few weeks. I may end up doing a special live stream soon to share more about that. Haven't decided yet, so keep it locked here on this channel, and you'll find out more. But thank you so much, Troy, for continuing to sponsor this channel, even though, we had to take a little bit of a break for a few weeks. All right, so let's get right to this today, because this is a very, very interesting and important topic to discuss. Let me just make sure that everything is recording fine here, and it looks like it is. Okay, so we're going to be discussing dealing with unexpected situations and how to properly handle them. And it's actually quite easy. Let me start off by saying this. Okay, how many of you out there, let me ask you this, how many of you out there expect unexpected situations? I can probably guess with great accuracy that probably more than 90% of you out there that view this video do not expect the unexpected. Okay, I'm here today to put you in the right mindset to start expecting the unexpected, because in life, we're going to, go through a lot of journeys that are unknown. And until we travel down those roads towards those journeys, for example, if you look behind me here today, you see a beautiful hiking trail, right? This is a hiking trail that I've never been on. and many of you probably never been on. And you can see that there's a straight path for a little bit of a distance, right? But once you get to the very end, way back there, who knows where the path leads? It may lead to the left, it may lead to the right, it may continue moving forward, right? You don't know until you get there because it's the first time you've traveled down that path, right? And who knows what's on the other side of this path or further on down the road on this path that you can't see until you get to that point, right? Who knows if you walk around that corner at the end of this path, if there's a rattlesnake laying across the path trying to, get a suntan or sunbathe because it's a cold-blooded species, right? And rattlesnakes like to sprawl across, hiking trails because it's an open section where the sun can directly hit them, right? They can warm up, right? And who also knows if there's a, mountain lion waiting for you on the other side of this path, right? Waiting to stare you down and eat you for dinner, right? You don't know until you reach that point, right? But if you go out on this hiking trail and you don't expect any critters to be out there, knowing that you're in the wilderness, then, you're in for a big surprise if you ever run into any of these critters out there because you're in the wild, you're in their home, right? Yes. So if you put yourself in the mindset of expecting the unexpected, when the unexpected actually happens, you're going to know how to better understand the situation and deal with the situation more professionally, maturely, and calmly. You're not going to overreact. You're not going to make a mistake. For example, on the hiking trail, if you look ahead, hundreds of feet ahead, because the human eye can see several hundred feet ahead, right? Especially on a clear day. And if you're thinking in your mind that there could be a rattlesnake anywhere on this trail, there could be a mountain lion anywhere on this trail, if you have that in the back of your mind and you're looking for these things to pop up, if you come across a rattlesnake, you're going to sit there and see it 100, 200 feet away, and then you're going to back off and you're going to wait for the rattlesnake to crawl across the path to clear the path for you to walk past the rattlesnake, right? Now, if you don't see the rattlesnake and you're not expecting it, what if you step on the rattlesnake? You're going to really upset the rattlesnake. The rattlesnake's going to fear for its life, and then it's going to turn around and bite you and inject you with venom. And that's not going to be a good thing, to be bitten by a rattlesnake way out there in the wilderness, right? Who knows if you'd even survive that, right? Especially if you don't have cell coverage. Most hiking trails don't have cell coverage, so how would you get help in time, right? That's why I never go hiking alone, because if anything ever happens, the other person can try to run and find some help, right? Or if there's a mountain lion around the corner, right? And let's say you don't spot the mountain lion until you come up, to the mountain lion within a few, feet, 10 or 20 feet, right? If you spot the mountain lion 100, 200, 300 feet away, you can just back off. You can do what the signs out there tell you to do is act big, raise your hands up, try to scare the mountain lion, right? And then just do not approach it. Just back off and let the mountain lion do its thing. And it should more than likely get scared off if you do the right thing and you don't antagonize it, and it'll just turn around and walk away, and then you can continue moving forward on your hike, right? So you have to expect the unexpected. So that way you know how to best handle unexpected things. If you're a human being out there and you think that life is perfect and you don't expect unexpected things, then I don't know what to tell you. Then life's going to be a struggle. So for me, I'm more of a proactive person. I'm trying to teach you folks to take more of a proactive approach. Now, today, I'm going to be sharing 3 examples in this video of unexpected situations and how they were handled. 2 of those situations are my personal stories of things I experienced. And another one is one regarding a friend of mine and his wife, something that they experienced in an unexpected way. So let's just get right to it. Let's talk about my married friend and his wife and their unexpected pregnancy. This is a very important one that anyone out here can learn. Okay. I remember this was over 10 years ago. My friend was dating this wonderful lady, and she was a good Catholic girl, still is, and she was a virgin until she got with him. And they had told me that they weren't even intimate until about maybe 3 or 4 months before they ended up getting married. And, this is kind of a stereotype, but it is kind of true. Now, I don't know how much this holds true in the modern world nowadays, but in the past, it held true. A lot of Latin women, they don't believe in birth control, premarital sex, and all of that. That is a true thing. And she's one of these women that didn't believe in birth control and believed in whatever's naturally meant to be is meant to be. So they don't believe in, condoms and stuff like that, because intimacy is supposed to be a natural thing to procreate, right? So they were intimate, several times, 3 months, 4 months leading into their marriage. And next thing you know, they got married. I was invited to their wedding. And a few, 2-3 months after that time, they invited me over to their place with my girlfriend at the time. And I, was talking with my friend and his wife. And I was looking at his wife, and her face seemed a little bit puffed up. And she seemed like she had put on a little bit of weight. It wasn't extremely noticeable, but it was noticeable enough to the point of where I was like, oh my God, is she pregnant? Right? And so I kept looking at him, kept looking at her. And then next thing you know, he goes, dude, don't say anything, but we're expecting. I'm like, what? You're expecting? How did this happen, dude? I mean, well, you know how it happened, dude. I completed the deposit. I slipped one past the goalie. Okay. You completed the deposit and you slipped one past the goalie. Okay. So when do you think this happened, dude? Do you think this happened before you got married? We feel it happened on our wedding night because that's the first time I let one slip past the goalie. Oh, so you got a little excited. I see. I totally see. We weren't expecting it. We wanted to wait a year or two before having kids. We wanted to do some traveling and this and that. But, things actually happen. Things happen. And it was just, it was an interesting thing because I've heard of many other stories in the past from other friends. And there are so many options out there nowadays for birth control, even if, let's say you start dating someone new, for example, and, you start to sleep with them and, they're not on birth control, so they have you use a condom for a little while, and the next thing you know, it's like you start to trust them, they trust you, and your girl says you don't have to use a condom, just pull out, right? The old pull out method, right? And sometimes you get in those situations, like I've heard this from some of my friends, sometimes you get in those situations and, knowing even though she's not on birth control and she said just pull out, don't want to use the condom, doesn't feel great with a condom. Sometimes you get so excited, right? And then you slip one past the goalie, right? But my other friends that have been in that situation have taken advantage and been responsible, have taken advantage of modern day medicine, such as the Plan B pill, the more known as the morning after pill and stuff like that. So this is an unexpected situation. If you don't want to have an unexpected pregnancy, whether you're married or whether you're just dating someone and they're not on birth control, you need to sit there and talk with your partner before you start to get intimate. And a lot of people don't want to think about that because it kind of ruins the natural flow of progression. But let me tell you something. If you have that conversation with, your girlfriend or your boyfriend, Okay. If you're a guy, you should be proactive and have that conversation with your girl. Like for me, in every relationship I've been in, okay, obviously at first, you start to use condoms and stuff like that. And then once you get to know the girl, you start talking about, let's do it more natural. We trust each other. We don't like the feeling of condoms, right? This and that, right? And at that point, as a man, you want to ask the lady, are you taking any type of birth control, this and that? If they say yes, ask them, what kind of birth control? Is it the pill? Is it the IUD? Is it whatever, right? And you want to ask because, there's a difference between taking the pill and taking or having the IUD inserted. The pill, you have to remember to take it every day or it's not effective. The IUD, it gets inserted in there and next thing you know, it's good for like 5 years. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to remember to take, a pill in that situation. So you want to be proactive and talk about those things because that way you're going to prevent the unexpected from happening. You're being proactive. So you have to expect the unexpected if you don't take, preventative measures and you're not proactive to prevent the unexpected from happening. So I'm trying to put you folks in the right mindset here so you can prevent unexpected things from happening that you're not ready to happen yet. Just like with my friend and his wife. Fortunately for them, they were, married and, they highly assumed that they conceived on their wedding night, which is fine. I would not suggest having children out of wedlock. I know things are done differently nowadays, but if you're one that, believes in traditions and, you are a good Christian, Catholic, a good Christian or a good Catholic boy or girl, I mean, you're going to want to follow those values. And to be true to those values, you've got to, take preventative measures. You've got to foresee the unexpected happening if you don't take those precautions. So that's one of those situations. Now, I'm going to share a couple more stories here regarding unexpected situations that happened to me personally. And these may not be as interesting as that other story. I guess I should have saved the best for last, but I just said, hey, let me talk about my friend's situation first, and then I'll end with my two personal situations. I'm going to talk about an unexpected situation that happened to me on a former YouTube channel I used to run. Now, some of you are aware that I used to run a former channel that I shut down a little over 2 years ago. And then I took some time away and then I came back and restarted this channel. And these next two stories, by the way, people that have been following me for a long time, even stemming back to my former channel, you've probably already heard these stories. But for the people that are new here and that weren't able to see the content on my former channel, this is going to be brand new to you. So I'm going to be discussing my former YouTube channel that I was able to get monetized after a few months after reaching 10,000 views. It used to be the requirements of the YouTube partner program used to only entail you having to have 10,000 views. Once you got 10,000 views on your channel, you were able to apply for monetization and then get approved into the YouTube partner program. So I hit that threshold. I got my channel monetized. I was monetized for 9 months. And I remember this day clearly. I was doing a live stream with another YouTuber that I was collaborating with at that point. And I got this email while I was live on the air. And it sunk my heart. It broke my heart. Because it said that we are giving you 30 days to reach the new threshold that is required to be a part of the YouTube Partner Program. All new applications are going to need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 minimum watch hours, public watch hours in the previous 12 months. for current channels that have not reached this threshold, that are in the for current channels that are in the YouTube Partner Program that haven't reached this threshold, you're going to need to reach this threshold within the next 30 days, and if not, you will be removed from the YouTube Partner Program. But then once you reach that threshold, your channel will be re-reviewed with stricter, guidelines to requalify back into the partner program. So I remember I had 600 subscribers at this point. I'd been running the channel for about a year, and I was monetized for about 9 months. I had a ton of watch time because I was doing a lot of live streams. I had like 30 or 40,000 hours of watch time, but I just couldn't get subscribers. I had 600 subscribers, right? So I started to look around YouTube for a solution, and I found a bunch of channels in the same situation, and they were doing a lot of networking and meeting new channels, and we were all connecting with each other, and I was gaining subscribers the right way. Did a lot of networking, collaborated with a lot of new people, and on the very, very last day, I hit 1,000 subscribers. I hit 1,000 subscribers on the very last day. And I remember that day because, once you hit 1,000 subscribers, according to the old threshold, you would get Super Chat enabled. So even with the old, threshold of only needing 10,000 views to become a part of the YouTube Partner Program, you still needed to have 1,000 subscribers before you could enable Super Chat, for your live streams. Okay. Well, I hit the 1,000 subscribers. Super Chat was enabled on my channel, and I'm like, I made it. Oh my God, I made it right in the nick of time, right on the very last day. And I remember I was dating my ex at that point, and I called her up, and I was excited. I'm like, babe, I made it. Oh my gosh, so cool. Took screenshots that I made it. Next thing you know, 2 hours later, YouTube swept through the system, and they removed me from the YouTube Partner Program. They demonetized me and said that I didn't make it in time. And then it was weird because I had hit 1,000 subscribers. They demonetized me and immediately put me under re-review because I hit the new threshold. And I was really, really frustrated. I was so frustrated because, I'm like, first of all, I never expected YouTube to change, their rules for what it would take to qualify for the partner program. But I was also thinking, if they're going to change their rules, why would they not grandfather, the original channels that were already in the partner program? Well, the reason is because they were trying to get rid of, bad channels. They were trying to remove a lot of channels from the partner program that really didn't deserve to be there. So they had to do that for everyone, including people like myself that were a good channel, even though I hadn't hit the new threshold at that point. So to make a long story short, I ended up contacting YouTube on Twitter. I kept on emailing creator support. I kept on trying to let them know I qualified. And this went on and on and on for 6 months. Remember, this whole situation was unexpected. I did not expect to get removed. I didn't expect the rules to change. But I worked so hard to hit the new threshold by the last day, and YouTube still removed me. And what I heard from creator support and from Twitter is that, it takes a couple of days for the system to update subscribers, which is why you were removed. Then I got back and I said, well, then why wouldn't you take that into consideration and, go back now and look and see that by the last day, I hit the new threshold. Can you please reinstate me back into the YouTube Partner Program? It never happened. So this went on and on and on. I kept running the channel for 6 months, and then YouTube finally got back to me after a few months. And before that 6-month period I was just talking about, YouTube finally got back to me and said, we are further reviewing your channel. Your channel requires even additional review. blah, blah, blah. We will let you know as soon as we have a decision, right? And it just kept going on and on and on to the point of where I just felt I was never going to get remonetized on this channel. So what did I end up doing? I ended up shutting down the channel. Not only for that reason, but there were some other things that were going on that I'm not going to mention here. But the fact that I got demonetized, even though I requalified, or even though I qualified under the new threshold in time, the fact that I got demonetized and couldn't get my monetization back, and they weren't reviewing me in a reasonable amount of time, I said, you know what, screw this. I'm going to shut down this channel, and I'm just going to take a break from YouTube. After 3 months, I decided to come back, and I said, you know what, I understand the ropes now. I know what I need to do. I'm just going to work hard and smart and start over, start fresh. I'm going to reach a new threshold, and I'm going to get monetized, and I'm not going to let this bother me. I'm not going to let this bother me. I did not let that situation bother me. I mean, I was upset, don't get me wrong, but I've always been the kind of guy to expect the unexpected. And because I've always been the type of guy that expects the unexpected, even though it was frustrating, I knew there's only so much I can do. I'm at the disposal of how YouTube wants to handle it, right? So I came back, started this channel, and literally in less than a year, I hit the new threshold. I applied for monetization once I hit the new threshold, and literally within 3 days, I was approved into the YouTube Partner Program, and it's been amazing. I did not let that unexpected situation derail me to the point of where I'm so frustrated at YouTube. I'm so frustrated that I have to start over. I said, you know what? That's life. Things happen. It wasn't meant to be on that former channel. Let me start over, and I will build it back up, and I will get there. And that's where I'm at, to this day. And I'm very happy that I made that decision, because I'm in a very good position now on this channel to take it where it needs to go. My channel here has now been monetized for almost a year. I have good, clean content. I love helping people, and it's just a much better situation than my former channel was in. So that's that. Another unexpected situation there. But again, I didn't let it get to me, and I was able to turn it around. It took some time to turn it around. It took shutting down my former channel, and it also took starting a new channel and building up the watch hours again and building up the subscribers again. But I did it because I believe in myself, and I've always expected the unexpected. So I've always known how to handle unexpected situations. All right, the last section I want to talk about here before I wrap up this video, because we are already at 28 minutes. Wow, time flies when you're having fun, huh? I haven't done a video in a while, and I really miss doing these videos and running my channel. It's just so good to be back, folks. And just so you know, more great content is going to be coming very soon. But the third and final bullet point here I want to discuss is losing my job in the corporate world, which led me to become self-employed. So a little over 13 years ago, no one expected, there to be a big crash with the market. It was a pretty tough time where money was very tight for many people. And when money is very tight for people, where is the first place they cut back? Is the retail sector. They stop buying their toys, their computers, their video games, other fancy toys, right? They spend less money in retail. And, I worked in the retail management and retail corporate world for almost 17 years. So I've seen these up and downs happen before. So what ended up happening? I got laid off. I was a manager for a retail company, and I got laid off. And I took, a few weeks off, and then I said, okay, I'm going to start putting myself out there to get, another job. So I didn't realize how bad the economy was. I knew it had gotten pretty bad, but I didn't realize how bad it was until I went back out there to try to find another job. I applied at many places, and the only place that called me back was the U-Haul company. U-Haul, where you rent those U-Haul trucks and you move from one location to another by loading the truck and unloading the truck and driving the truck to and from your locations to move your stuff. You do it yourself. That's what U-Haul does. So I had applied for a store manager job that was available for U-Haul, and I applied for many other jobs through many other companies that I would have preferred to have heard from. But the only company I heard from was U-Haul, and they invited me. They set up an interview with me. I ended up going to one of their regional offices, which is local to me here in the San Francisco Bay Area. I had an interview with the district manager. It was a great interview. It went very, very well. And he told me that you seem like the right fit. You're energetic. You've got a lot of, passion and dedication. You seem professional. Everything seemed to be great. Then he started telling me more about the job. Before we offer you this job here, pending on a background check and drug testing that we're going to have you go and do, let me make you aware of what this job entails so you know what you're getting into. Apparently, they have had, issues in the past because they didn't tell their other managers what the job entailed. Well, in this situation, what happened was the district manager told me that you're going to be working 5, but usually 6 days per week. Some weeks you'll be working 5 days per week, but usually you'll be working 6 days per week. A typical work day for a manager, store manager, is 10 to 12 hours, sometimes longer. It depends on what your staffing situation is like for the day and what's happening. And then he also said that there may be certain situations where our mechanics may not be available, and you may have to do some light maintenance on some of the trucks, to keep them going, because that's our business. And I'm sitting there and thinking to myself, first of all, 5 to 6 days per week, 10 to 12 hours a day minimum. I'm looking at 12 times 5 is 60, 12 times 6 is 72. So basically, I'm going to be working a minimum of 72 hours per week. And then they made me an offer, $44,000 a year. I forgot to mention that. 72 hours a week for $44,000 a year, which was far less than what I was making at my other jobs. But that's all they could offer their store managers. They paid me top dollar, as much as they could start me out at, because that's what they pay, even though I was making more money at my previous jobs. So after putting, all of this through my head, I started to realize that this is just not going to work for me. Like, I need a job, but I don't want to sit here and take this job just because I need a job that's going to destroy my quality of life. I mean, I want to be happy where I work, and I want to be able to, have some, time away from work so I can spend some of my money and have some fun and enjoy life in the way life is meant to be enjoyed. But I couldn't picture myself doing this job, working, 72 hours a week, 5 to 6 days a week, 10 to 12 hours a day. And then if the mechanic's not available, I got to be a mechanic and fix the truck. And even though I'm not a certified mechanic, I mean, that just didn't work for me. So the district manager gave me the drug test papers, and I told him I would be back. I would go take the drug test and I would get back to them. Right, that's what I told him. Once I left that building and got into my car in the parking lot and I took off, I just drove straight home and never talked to them again. They tried to reach out to me for a few days, but I never got back to them. And they got the hint after a while that this is just not going to work for me. So the unexpected was losing my job, getting laid off from my former job. And then, I didn't let it get to me. I put myself back out there and I, tried to get another job. Now, after that, that situation, I kept on applying for their jobs and no one would return. No one would call me back. I would call, jobs. I would put in resumes. No one was calling me. No one was offering me an interview. I was like, this has gotten pretty bad. So I decided to make a life-changing decision at that point, and I'll shorten this down. And those videos getting pretty long. At that point, I was like, I got to do something for myself. I looked at my financial situation, and I had enough money to survive back in those days for almost 2 years, for around 2 years or so. I had money saved up. I had lots of money in my 401k. I had lots of resources to pull money from should I need it. So I knew I was okay financially, but I knew I had to do something before that money were to run out. And plus, I would prefer to not have that money run out, because this is one of the most important things that you folks need to understand, is that you should always save money and have a cushion. Regardless of how much money you're making, you should always take, in my opinion, at least I'd say 20 to 25% of your net and put it away into savings. Then what I would do is put another 10 to 15% in 401, and then the rest you pay your bills with. Now, I know not everyone can do that, but it's ideal if you can, because in my opinion, it should be a fact, you should have at least 6 months of income to survive should you lose your job, preferably 1 year. So again, you should have 6 months of money for a rainy day should you lose your job, and that way you can survive while you find another job. Preferably 1 year, but 6 months at a minimum. Okay? For me, I had 2 years of income between all my financial resources. Okay? So what did I do? Instead of, freaking out and letting the unexpected get to me, and freaking out even more because I couldn't get a job. No one was calling me back. There were no jobs available. Companies were downsizing. The economy was horrible. I decided to, take some courses and get my insurance licenses. And then I ended up, getting hired to sell insurance. And at that point, I had about another year, a little over a year or so, to come close to or replacing my income, or I was going to have to start looking for another job again. And I was hoping if it got to that point a year or so down the road that, the economy would have bounced back a little bit by that point so I could get a job. Well, here's what ended up happening. I ended up doing quite well in insurance. I replaced my income and then more than replaced my income, and everything just ended up being all hunky-dory because I believed in myself and I didn't let the unexpected get to me. I've always expected the unexpected. Any job that I've had, I've always expected that I could lose that job for whatever reason at any point in time, and I've always been prepared, on how to handle that, okay? When I got laid off, I was a bit shocked, but like I said, because I've always had the mindset of expecting the unexpected, it didn't really affect me emotionally and mentally as much as it would affect other people that would never expect such a thing to happen. So before I wrap this up, folks, I just want to drill this into your head. This is the most important lesson you can learn from this video here. Expect the unexpected, okay? If you expect the unexpected, when the unexpected actually happens, you're going to be in a much more calmer state, and you're going to be able to handle the situation much more quickly with less stress. It's going to be more effective and efficient, and you're going to be able to flip it around. Okay? The last thing you want to do is flip out and stress out, because if you do, that's when you're going to lose it all and you're not going to be able to work through it. If you keep it together, You expect the unexpected, and when the unexpected happens, you're going to know exactly where to go to turn things around, just like I did. So, folks, if you have any questions regarding this topic or anything else, if you want to reach out to me personally, please go below in the description and email me at coacheli@coachelias.com. If you'd like to send me, a story, or if you have questions or you want me to dissect your situation that I may choose to dissect in a future video, again, please go below in the description and feel free to email me at coacheli@coach.eliasmelas.com or sanctuary@coach.eliasmelas.com. Both those emails are below in the description section. So with that being said, folks, I want to thank you for taking the time to view this video. Have yourselves a great day, and I will see you all next time. Take care. Bye-bye.